You are not invisible because you lack value. You are invisible because you radiate permission. The room reads you before it hears you, in your posture, in your smile, in your need to be received well. Most people are not consciously cruel. They are simply responsive to weakness, and weakness is rarely loud. It appears in hesitation, over-explaining, nervous laughter, and instant compliance. That is how disrespect begins, not with an attack, with a quiet test you fail to notice. One interruption, one joke at your expense, one boundary crossed without consequence. The pattern starts there. You call it being easygoing. The world calls it easy access. The truth is brutal. People respect structure more than sweetness. You were taught that kindness would protect you, that if you stayed agreeable, the world would return the favor. But life is not a classroom. It is a pressure system, and pressure reveals exactly what bends. This is the first law. Stop confusing niceness with character. Character is not endless accommodation. Character is standards under pressure. Niceness is often fear-wearing manners as camouflage. Civility is different. Civility is chosen, it is controlled, it is self-command. The civilized man does not smile for approval. He respects himself enough to remain composed. He can be warm without becoming available. He can be kind without becoming soft. The weak man begs to be liked. The disciplined man decides how he will be treated. Once you understand that difference, your entire presence changes. Your face changes. Your voice changes. Your silence gains weight. People start checking themselves around you because they can no longer assume access. The second law is this: kill the reflex to reassure. You do not need to smile every time someone looks at you. You do not need to explain every decision just to prevent discomfort. You do not need to fill every pause as if silence were a problem. Insecure people rush to make the room comfortable. Powerful people can survive tension without collapsing. The need to reassure is a leak. It tells people you cannot tolerate their uncertainty. And when others sense that, they begin to control the mood by controlling you. Remove that reflex, and the room must carry its own discomfort. That is when balance shifts. Not because you became louder, but because you became less available. Power often arrives quietly. It looks like less talking, fewer explanations, and cleaner boundaries. The third law: learn the geometry of silence. Most people panic in silence because silence removes their script. Without noise, they can feel themselves. And many people cannot tolerate that sensation. That is why silence has weight. It forces truth to rise. When you answer too quickly, you reveal anxiety. When you answer with calm delay, you reveal control. 3 seconds of stillness can do more than 30 seconds of explaining. When you pause, other people rush to fill the void. And in that rush, they expose themselves. They talk too much. They clarify too much. They negotiate against themselves. Silence is not emptiness. It is pressure without motion. Use it well, and people will begin to reveal what they never meant to show you. The fourth law: stop chasing external proof that you matter. Approval is addictive because it gives you temporary relief from uncertainty. But anything that can raise your worth from outside can also take it away from outside. If praise controls you, you are owned. If insults control you, you are owned. Real confidence is not emotional numbness. It is internal jurisdiction. You know who you are before the room gives its opinion. That is why calm people disturb unstable people. They cannot be pulled by the usual ropes. The moment others realize they cannot bait you, they lose one of their favorite tools. No defense, no panic, no scramble to explain your worth. That is not arrogance. It is emotional ownership. The fifth law is physical. Your body teaches people how to approach you. A collapsed frame invites pressure. An open frame resists it. Stop shrinking to make yourself convenient. Take the chair. Take the space. Plant both feet like you mean to stay. Most people scan the room like prey. They dart, check, adjust, apologize with their eyes. Predatory energy is not aggression. It is directional certainty. Move your gaze slower. Move your body slower. Let your pace imply that your time belongs to you. Fast movement often means fear. Controlled movement means decision. When you stop rushing, others begin to feel rushed around you. And that is when your body starts speaking before your mouth ever needs to. The sixth law: scarcity creates gravity. If you are always available, your presence becomes cheap. Answering instantly, staying too long, giving too much. These habits destroy perceived value. You do not create respect by being endlessly present. You create it by being deliberate. Leave the room before you become ordinary inside it. End the call first. End the meeting first. End the interaction before it drains your edge. Unfinished presence lingers longer in memory than overexposure ever will. Mystery is not pretending to be important. It is refusing to over-display your life. Stop narrating yourself to people who have not earned access. Scarcity is not a game. It is self-respect expressed through restraint. The seventh law is the foundation beneath all the others. Competence. Without competence, silence becomes awkward. Boundaries become theater. Stillness becomes empty posing. Your mind knows when your image exceeds your substance. That is why fake confidence always leaks. The body cannot fully lie to itself. Real confidence is built the slow way, through proof. Promises kept to yourself. Difficult things finished. Skills repeated until they become instinct. When you know you can handle pressure, you stop begging the room to believe in you. Because your nervous system already has evidence, and evidence is heavier than affirmation. Become excellent at something, anything. Then let that excellence stabilize your presence. Now the final threshold, the willingness to be misunderstood. This is where most people fail. Not from weakness, but from guilt. They fear that boundaries will make them look harsh, that saying no will make them the villain. But every mature life requires disappointing someone. You cannot protect your energy and remain endlessly convenient. You cannot choose self-respect and still offer unlimited access to those who misuse it. Someone will call you distant. Let them. Someone will call you different. Good. The goal is not universal approval. The goal is internal order. Boundaries offend people who benefited from your lack of them. That reaction is not a sign you are wrong. It is proof the system changed. So how do you begin? Not by becoming loud, by becoming precise. Tomorrow, answer one question 3 seconds later than usual. Tomorrow, do not laugh at a joke that does not move you. Tomorrow, say no once without decorating it. Tomorrow, leave one conversation before it empties you. Tomorrow, sit like you belong where you are. Tomorrow, stop volunteering your inner world to people who have not earned entry. These are small acts, but power often returns in small, repeated recoveries. Each clean boundary stops a leak. Each stopped leak rebuilds pressure, and pressure, when contained, becomes force. At first, this will feel unnatural. Your old self will panic. It will tell you they are uncomfortable, that you are becoming cold, that you should fix it. Do not obey that voice automatically. It has mistaken self-erasure for safety. The old pattern survived by staying agreeable. The new pattern survives by staying aligned. And alignment always feels harsher to the parts of you that were built for approval. That discomfort is not failure. It is withdrawal from dependence. Soon the room will change. The jokes will shift. The interruptions will decrease. Not because you demanded worship, because you stopped advertising weakness. What they feel is not fear of aggression. It is respect for structure. And in a world built on drift, structure is rare enough to feel intimidating. Most people live fragmented. A little from family, a little from trauma, a little from public opinion. That is why unified people feel powerful. They have a center that does not negotiate every minute. When your face, body, words, and choices begin saying the same thing, people notice. Not because you became louder, because contradiction vanished from your presence. That coherence is what makes some people unforgettable the moment they enter a room. You are not here to become feared like a tyrant. You are here to become undeniable. A calm man with standards is harder to move than a loud man with opinions. A disciplined man with boundaries is harder to use than a friendly man with none. A competent man with inner order does not beg the world to recognize him. He recognizes himself first, and that is where real power begins. So stop trying to become more likable. Become more solid. Stop trying to be endlessly understood. Become more precise. Stop trying to keep every door open. Learn which doors deserve to stay locked. Stop asking the room who you should be. Build that answer in private. If you do this long enough, people will call you different. Good. Different is where freedom starts. Because the man who cannot be easily read cannot be easily ruled. The man who cannot be easily baited cannot be easily controlled. And the man who can stand alone without begging for permission becomes dangerous to every weak system around him. Not dangerous because he harms. Dangerous because he no longer kneels.